Well, hello, fourth through sixth grade crew. We are so excited to have you join us. I'm Leah, and this is
Michelle.
Guess we should have started out by introducing ourselves. This is like the fifth video we've made, so we're a little tired. But anyways, we are going to be sending out a training packet, and please, please, please read through that. It will set you up for success. It will give you details on everything you need to know. But we just wanted to take a moment and highlight a few things so that we can go in detail a little bit more about stuff. Fourth through sixth grade especially, we have decided at Cornerstone to keep our sixth graders in with the elementary age group. We just find they're not quite ready for middle school. But in that, we've also found that our fourth and fifth we found that our fourth and fifth graders, they feel too cool for school. So we are going to try and do something a little different. Fourth through sixth grade are going to be all together. They are going to stay in for worship. So their worship time will be with the adults in the auditorium. Here's what you need to know in regards to that. Worship is going to look different almost every Sunday. Some Sundays, worship will be one song at the beginning. Worship will be two songs. Sometimes it will be three. So we will give you a heads up in the lesson that comes out each week around Thursday and Friday, telling you, hey, this week there's only one worship song, so be ready to grab the kids after that one worship song when they dismiss. Or, hey, there's three, so you've got a little bit of time at the beginning before they're going to be dismissed. Once they are dismissed, regardless of how many worship songs are at the beginning, they will stay with you the rest of the time. So even if there's only one at the beginning, they're not going to go back in at the end. So anyways, they will be dismissed. You guys, we ask that you greet them kind of outside the auditorium. Greet them by name if you know their name. If not, hey, I forgot your name. What's your name? Just make them feel as welcome as possible. Start building relationship with these kids. If you remember that they had a basketball game that week, ask them about it. As you move to where your area is going to be, which is outside the music room, there'll be chairs set up, and that's just where you guys are going to meet and hang out. It will be a much more of a relaxed, relational feel. So yeah, that's where you guys are going to be all set up. And that's all from me about that.
All right.
Oh no, make sure all the kids get checked in. Some of them will get checked in before service. But if you notice a kid doesn't have a name tag, take them over to hospitality and have them grab one real quick so they're checked in and they have a name tag.
As for the volunteer expectations, a couple things you just need to know. Make sure that typically there should always be 2 volunteers with the kids. Kids can go to the bathroom at this age level by themselves. Just make sure that you know where they went and you're watching for them to come back, that kind of thing, so you're not losing kids. We ask that you stay with your group. I know you guys are going to be in the hallway, so it's not going to be as big of a deal, but just kind of make sure that you're hanging out there. If you need anything from hospitality or you need assistance, make sure you grab hospitality. Mm-hmm. They'll be walking around to help people out, mm-hmm. and one of us will be around as well. So as for the lessons, when the kids come back from the auditorium after worship, you will start the class by reviewing the Be Bold values, and that's going to be part of your lesson plan. So a couple of things, first of all, before we get into the lesson itself, we are going to have a different kind of curriculum. It's going to be the Be Bold curriculum. Did you say this earlier?
I did not.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't think so. We've repeated ourselves so much tonight. So the Be Bold curriculum is going to be starting, but not right away. So you guys are going to have a little bit of a different feel for the first 4 weeks or so. And then towards the second week of June or so, you're going to begin using this Be Bold curriculum. So just kind of follow the plans that you're getting in your mail.
We'll be very detailed for the first 4 weeks on what it looks like. It will be the same. It will just be a lot more relational. Mm-hmm. But we're really excited about the Be Bold curriculum. It's specifically designed for 4th through 6th graders. Right. So Michelle will talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so the curriculum itself starts out with some Be Bold values. And so then there's going to be a game that comes with the lesson. You're going to want to play that game with them and start getting them to know about what you're going to be teaching. There's going to be a question of the week and a teaching time from the lesson, and you're going to go through all of that specific teaching time. It is very specific. It will tell you what to say. It's not going to leave a whole lot to your imagination. So if you are somebody that's not real comfortable with coming up with anything on the fly, you're going to be okay. All right. But also feel free to deviate a little bit as the conversation takes it, because we want it to be relational. We don't want it to be scripted. So then there will be a ministry time, which in the Be Bold lesson, it's going to be called a bold blessing. And so, with regards to ministry time after the teaching, we're gonna encourage you to pray for the kids. So, depending on what the lesson is about, or what topic is being taught. For example, if the topic is courage, and somebody's really struggling with courage, you can ask if there's kids who are having difficulty with that issue. And so, if somebody happens to raise their hand, which they may not at the beginning, but hopefully as people get more and more comfortable with the plan and the program, that they will. But if kids raise their hand, please take some time to specifically pray for those kids. And you can encourage the other kids to pray for them as well. We want to make contact with these kids later in the week. So we do ask that you fill out a prayer card for those kids.
So in the back of the binder.
So if you would fill out a card, just something very personal, just give them some words of encouragement. Make sure that, you remind them, just let them know. You hope that, you were able to find the courage to make it through your test this week, or you hope you were successful at your basketball game this week, or, just letting them know that you were thinking of them, and just letting them know that you're continuing to pray for their whatever it is they need, their need.
And also use your judgment in that. Kids will be kids, and there will be some kids who every week will ask for prayer. We probably will not send them a card every week. So if you're like, I sent that kid a card last week, you can say, hey, I'm praying for you this week, but we won't necessarily send them a card every week. So just use your judgment on that. But we want as much as possible to follow up with kids who really are just, struggling with a certain thing, and that we spend time praying for them.
And then finally, there will be some additional materials within the lessons. They're going to be optional, but there's a bold action or begin boldly time or place, and we will provide supplies for some of those items. So sometimes it's going to have a craft or a game or something like that. We'll make sure that you're aware of which things we have the supplies to be able to do should you want to do those activities. Some of them we'll probably just cut all together depending on what the needs are for the supplies. So just kind of make sure that you are taking the time to go over those lesson plans when you receive them on Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, and again, you know the kids best, so if it's a great conversation happening, don't feel like you need to stop it so you can get to the activity. Right. Also, hospitality will give you a heads up when service is letting out, and you can just let the kids go. There's no checking them out. At that age, they should be able to find their parents, so there's no parents coming and checking them out or anything like that. New kid cards. These cards also in the back of the binder. If you have a new student that's never come before, hospitality can let you know that. If you're not sure, you can ask hospitality. I'm not sure if they've ever been here. Or you can even ask the kid, hey, have you been here before? But we encourage you, if there's a new kid, to fill out a card. Hey, Tommy, so glad that you came to church today. Loved talking about courage with you. Or whatever you can say in it to make it personal. Hope your basketball game is great this week, whatever. Fill that out. Just take a quick 30 seconds to do that, and then turn it in at the hospitality desk, and Michelle and I will make sure it gets mailed to them that week. It's just something personal for the kid to let them know that we were glad. And I can send that out, and Michelle can send that out, but it means more coming from you who actually had interactions with them. So just something we're asking you to do. Setting up Breeze. Breeze is our database system. It's what we will use to communicate with you, and it's what you will use to communicate with the rest of the crew. So if what's going to happen is you'll get an email from me inviting you to Breeze. You'll set up your account, and then if you need a sub, you'll use that to email the crew and say, hey, I need a sub for this date. Can somebody switch me, or can somebody cover for me? Also, please utilize that to communicate with each other about different kids. Like, hey, this kid really likes when we do this activity. Or, hey, Susie does not like reading out loud. Don't call on her. Just to set all of us up for success so that we know what to expect, or tips or tricks to make it more successful. So, again, the training packet will have details on Breeze also, but just encourage you to get that set up as soon as you receive the email so that we can all communicate with each other efficiently.
All right, and last but not least, in case of emergency, things like fires, storms, tornado kind of thing, please make sure that you familiarize yourself with where the closest fire exits would be in the building at Moran School. So depending on where you're at, one of them, obviously the front entrance doors, there's an emergency exit in the gym, the corner of the gym, and then one in the auditorium. So depending on where you happen to be closest to, make a decision after you've been familiar with Moran as to where you would go. The hospitality crew person will be notifying you if there is such an emergency, or one of us. And your goal then would be, of course, to get out of the building as quickly as possible. So do a quick head count first, and kind of do that probably at the beginning anyway, just to kind of get in your mind, since you aren't going to have an actual physical list of everybody that's going to be there. That'll be in the check-in computer after everybody's been checked in, but you're not going to necessarily have something real time to be able to take with you. So try to keep in mind a head count of how many kids you had have there for the day. Get them out. Once you're outside, do a second head count. We're going to gather up on the playground area, so you're going to want to keep them away from wherever the fire trucks and that might come in, and then just do a second head count out there to make sure everybody's accounted for. In the case of a storm or a tornado type emergency, you would again do a head count and then take those kids into the juniors room, where you will stay until you've been cleared to leave the room. Okay? Do a second head count again once you're in that room, and you should be good to go. If you have any questions, of course, please don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah, and I think final, feel free to utilize the gym. It's a huge space, so even if the kindergarten through third graders are in there, they can stay to one side. But if there's an activity that you feel would go better in the gym, or you feel like you got done with the lesson and you have some free time, there will be a binder in the gym that is relational games that you can do with the kids, and so feel free to do that too if you just need some time filler. So we are so grateful that you guys are joining this crew and helping, and I'm really excited, especially for these 4th through 6th grade kids. I think we're going to see a lot of spiritual growth in them, and I know that you play a key role in that, and so we're very grateful for you guys. So thank you.
Thank you.